Have a nice day. Today is Sunday, 5th of March 2023. On this day, Gandhi Irwin Agreement was signed. It was signed between Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, leader of an Indian nationalist movement, and Lord Irwin. It marked the end of a period of civil disobedience satyagraha in India against the British rule that the Gandhi and his followers had initiated with the Salt March. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper The Hindu states that China sets economic growth targeted of around 5% for 2023. Lowest indicators. China on Sunday set an economic growth target of around 5% for 2023, one of the lowest indicators as its annual National People's Congress opened in Beijing. Outgoing Premier Li Qiang set this year's official growth target at around 5% as the economy strained under the impact of strict COVID-19 containment policies. The Hindu newspaper also states that rising cough and fever linked to influenza type A H3N2 ICMR. Rising cases of intense cough lasting for a week coupled with fever observed in most parts of the country can be linked to influenza H3N2, a subtype of virus that can cause flu, that Indian Council of Medical Research ICMR said on Saturday. The public health body says that the virus appears to lead to more hospitalizations than other subtypes. It advises people not to take antibiotics without consulting a doctor. Surveillance data from the December 15 reflects the rise in number of cases in influenza H3N2, the Indian Council of Medical Research said. Going towards the Indian Express newspaper states that calibrated attempts being made to defense Indian judiciary, says Kiran Rijiju, amid frequent run-ins between the union government and judiciary over appointment of judges. The law minister has said differences may come, but that does not mean that the government is disregarding the judiciary, and said there are misinterpretations. Hailing Indian judiciary and wisdom of Indian judges, Union Law Minister Kiran Rijiju on Saturday said calibrated attempts are being made from inside and outside of the country to defame the judiciary. Indian Express also states that Australia Prime Minister to visit India, bets for deeper ties, Albanese Modi to watch fourth test, enhance defense economic ties. A day after called for the ministers wrapped up a meeting that sent a clear message to Russia and China. New Delhi and Canberra announced Saturday that Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, remember the name, will be visiting India from March 8 to 11. This will be the first bilateral visit to the country after he took charge in May 2022. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar with Prime Minister of Australia Anthony Albanese in Sydney, Australia on 18 February. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that Nirmala Sitharaman states you can speak against Prime Minister, but then Nirmala Sitharaman on business in India. India has become an attractive investment destination, and advanced economies consider it right for a friend shoring because of its skilled youth power, captive domestic market, technology-driven public investments, and rule of law. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said on Saturday. Hindustan Times also states that Jaishankar's aide and China tech head Shilpak Ambul headed for Singapore. External Affairs Minister Subrahmanyam Jaishankar's principal aide and Joint Secretary handling East Asia division, including China, in the Minister of External Affairs Dr. Shilpak Ambul will take over as India's next ambassador to Singapore. Going towards the economy of the country, India's goods services exports may cross $750 billion this fiscal goal. Piyush Goyal said that sectors which would help in promoting exports include manufacturing goods, agricultural products, labor-intensive items, and high-quality products. Piyush Goyal. Taiwan's Foxconn seeks chip EV cooperation with India. Major Apple Inc. supplier Foxconn said on Saturday it was seeking cooperation in India in new areas like chips and electric vehicles after a visit to the country by its chairman Liu Yangwei. Apple has been shifting production away from China after the country's strict COVID-19 restrictions disrupted the manufacturing of new model iPhones and new other devices, and amid tensions between Beijing and Washington. In January, India's trade minister said Apple, which began iPhone assembly in the country in 2017 through Wistron Corp, and later Foxconn wants India to account for up to 25% of its production from about 5 to 7% currently. Foxconn has ambitious plans to make electric vehicles, and is also looking to make chips. Explained why our index market make why are index sorry India index makers attracting attention from SEBI. With thousands of stocks traded in stock markets around the world and their prices often moving in different directions, most observers assess a market's general trajectory amid these individual price swing by looking at broader benchmark indices. Indian interest cannot be like Chinese interest, MOS Chandrasekhar. Minister of State Rajiv Chandrasekhar said that no country can dominate the semiconductor supply chain alone when moving away from China. Going towards the world news, including three secular religions, race, sex, and climate, have put to use in chokehold a Republican presidential aspirant Vivek Ramaswamy. China expands defense budget 7.2%, marking just 0.1% increase. Nepal Prime Minister faces a mass murder case over comments. North Korea says United States causing international arms control collapse. Russian Defense Minister pays a prayer visit to troops in Ukraine. Going towards the science and technology, scrub type has combination therapy can save more lives. Saving lives by faster resolution of companies. India is one of the hotspots of scrub type has disease with at least 25% disease burden. IIT Guwahati scientists use protein to repair damaged heart cells. Cardiovascular diseases are the leading cause of the death worldwide, with a toll of over 17.9 million lives each year, according to the World Health Organization report. Coronary heart disease is caused when the heart's blood supply is blocked by fatty substance clogging the arteries. A group of scientists have come up with a solution where healthy sickened cells from an adult can be converted into heart cells using special proteins. Supreme Court seeks center's response on reported deaths of tigers. The Supreme Court has directed the center to inform it about the reported deaths of tigers in the country. A bench of Justice K.M. Joseph and B.V. Nagarantha sought the information about after taking note of newspaper reports about the tiger death. On the January 27th, Center had told the top court that there are 2,967 tigers in the country, spread across 53 tiger reserves, according to the 2018 report. Morning Digest ICMR says rising flu cases linked to influenza subtype H3N2 off to flying start in first WPL match and more. The ICMR noted that about half of all patients admitted with the severe acute respiratory infection and patients walking into the clinics were found to be afflicted with the influenza H3N2 image. Here is image for artworking. Rising cases of intense cough lasting for over a week, coupled with a fever observed in most parts of the country, can be linked to influenza H3N2, a subtype of virus that causes flu, the Indian Council of Medical Research said on Saturday. At last, there's a famous quotation by Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore, FRAS, was a Bengali polymath who worked as a poet, writer, playwright, composer, philosopher, social reformer, and a painter. He reshaped Bengali literature and music as well as Indian art with the contextual modernism in the late 19th and early 20th century. Rabindranath Tagore states that I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted and behold, service was joy. Okay, thank you.